What's up, Long Players? Welcome to the Long Play Listening Party, the show where we go deep on local music, writing, recording, inspiration, gear, and whatever else sounds good to us. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. Hey, real quick, 2 things you can do to support the show. Buy artist music on Bandcamp and listen to them on your favorite streaming platform. And please subscribe to the show on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Whole crew here tonight, starting with Nate Holt. How you feeling, Nate?
I'm great. How is everybody else doing?
We're good. The wizard, Royce Diamond, in the house. How you feeling, Royce?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Fantastic. And welcome to our guests this week, Maria Cuevas and Garrett Nordstrom. We're going to be listening to selections from Maria the Mexican's albums, Moon Colored Jade and South of the Border Moonlight, as well as 3 new singles from Maria. What's up, Maria?
Hey, thanks for having us.
For sure. Garrett, how are you?
Hey, I'm well, Howie. Royce, how are you? Nate, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
So to get us started, Maria, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be hearing in the next half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, so we are going to be listening to the evolution of Maria the Mexican and kind of the change into Maria Cuevas as a solo artist. A few tunes from our very first album that was released several years ago, Moon Colored Jade, followed up by South of the Border Moonlight, and then 3 new singles that we have been working on that will be on the upcoming solo album, and the release date for that is TBD. We're still working on it.
Nice.
Very good. And Nate, you've got something to disclose to the audience here. Tell us a little bit about your
Yes.
Your connection.
I actually play in Maria's band, and come to find out we are actually cousins by marriage. So it's kind of a family affair, and it's a lot of fun.
We love having him on stage with us. I started in a family band when I was 11 years old in my grandmother's mariachi band, and I'm still in a family band with my cousin, my husband, and sometimes my sister.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
Tell Maria. So this is our second swing at the show here.
It is.
No shame in that. But you were saying something really interesting, and I think important for what we're about to hear about the evolution of your sound, where you started with a couple of or multiple influences, and kind of how that is going to change over time. So will you repeat that? I thought that was really good.
Absolutely. So I started my musical journey in my grandmother's mariachi band playing only mariachi, and to switch over to playing in a rock and roll band was definitely a new experience, and it wasn't always easy for me. We formed Maria the Mexican when I met Garrett, and he was a longtime rock and roll musician. So he had to learn mariachi. I had to learn rock and roll, and it has taken a while, and I do believe it is a journey to kind of hone in on our sound and our messaging and what we want to convey. And with the first album, you can really pick up on the contrast between the mariachi songs and the English rock and roll songs. And I think, through our journey, we began to create a mezcla, a mix of the two. And I'm even more excited for the third album coming up, because I feel like we've been really able to weave in all of the influences. In our full band now, we have a conga player who also plays the trumpet, Nate on keys. We have traditional rock and roll instruments, drums, bass, electric guitar. I'm on acoustic. Sometimes my sister's there on violin. And so it really is this hybrid, or this mix of all of these influences, which is, just a reflection of who I am and who many of us are.
Word. And the first song's coming up. But Garrett, you've got the flip side of that coin, right? Tell us about your experience coming from the other side.
The other side. Well, I was a Kansas City musician, jam band guy that moved to Kansas City in the middle 2000s. And I hooked up with Maria about 2011, maybe, something like that. Maria stole my heart, and then a couple days later, she stole the band.
But this is actually, I love this song. It's El Cascabel. I used to play this in my grandmother's mariachi band, so it's been around a long time. It's a definitely a mariachi standard, and the violin part is just amazing. So I love to open a show or end a show with this, and it just really gets the energy building. It's one of my most favorite songs to play.
So when was this album recorded? Was it recorded over like a long period of time, or like a longer period of time, or did you have the songs you wanted to do and you kind of did them or recorded them sort of traditionally, like you would a regular album?
I think we're talking 2012, the spring and summer of 2012. And, the whole year, I think, by 2013, we mixed it in the spring and it was out in the summer that year.
Yeah, I would say this was like the quickest album that we did. Because, when you're just a new band, I think you have a lot of material and it was easy to put together.
What
go ahead.
What did putting it together look like? Like, how did you get all those people together and come up with this style of music that's kind of that fusion that you're doing?
Well, it really was Garrett's idea. I used to call him the mastermind of MTM. But I mean, this song, like my sister and I were like, hey, what about this song? And we played it for him. And he was like, what? And then we said, let's play it with drums. And I mean, this is a very traditional song. So to put it to drums with an electric guitar and a bass guitar was definitely a new idea. I haven't heard another band do it. And it just worked. Like, it just immediately worked. This is one of my favorite parts of the violin, too. It's kind of like the peak of the song.
We were able to take the band that we had into a studio and cut 18 songs in 4 days. So I think that's why it went so well. We just put everybody in that studio and we did. So I think it was a 12 or 13 song. We still have 5 songs from that session that are sitting in the can. We had a drummer come in from Nashville who's Lester Estelle. You guys might know Lester Estelle too. He's with Kelly Clarkson now, and a longtime Kansas City musician. So it was in the studio. It was a real simple thing. All we needed was time. He could do it and get through all that. So.
He just needs time to play the songs.
Well, sometimes you gotta do it again and see if you get it right. With having Lester in there, we didn't have to do it again.
Right.
Because he got it right first or second time every time. So we could move on and fix whatever the other guy was needed to fix. Along with the vocal overdubs and we got strings on it and horns and.
You mix this on a desk? Is it in Pro Tools or,
we mixed it at Connor Ober's studio and Mike Moga's studio in Omaha, ARC. I've had a long relationship with those guys, and it was mixed by Ben Brodeen on a vintage 70s API in the B.
Actually, I know Ben. Mostly he's a friend of a friend, but our friend Jill is the point of connection there.
Yeah, so Ben, he mixed this record on that API desk in the B room ARC, and then Ben actually recorded our second record. We did the same thing. We took that band, and he ends up playing drums on the the second record is all Ben Brodeen on drums, plus he's the recording engineer. So that was there's a good story there that. We had cut the whole record at ARC with Ben, and then I went up and did a session with him because I was working on a couple of tracks for us, and Ben played drums on it. And we said, man, we really love the way he plays. So we ended up recutting all the drums on the record with Ben playing.
is this a original?
Yes, this is an original, You and Me Against the Moon, and this is one that Garrett had been doing for a long time, and he just presented to my sister and I, and we kind of put our spin on it, and the rest is history on this song. We still play this song in the full band.
My music got a lot. Oh, go ahead, Nate.
Oh, I was just gonna ask about the lyrics on this one. Was it you or was it Maria?
It was both of us. Yeah. My lyric writing got a lot better when Maria started editing it.
That's got to be pretty cool, though, like just having a writing partner all the time.
It goes a long way, I think, if you... like I said, I think the song's gotten better. She started mailing in addendums to them, you know, and they did get better. I think when you see some of the most successful songs out there, they usually, you know, partnerships and, you know, not always, but, you know, it certainly helps me. Except for when I don't like it. Right?
So Garrett, are you writing all the instrumentation? Are you guys writing that together? Like, are the musicians coming in and kind of like filling in where they need to fill in? How does that go?
Yeah, so on this, the trumpet player on this scored the horns, and so he did score the horns on this. But yeah, mostly the music was written by me. This is Besame Mucho, so this is what it is. And this is just straight up. But, you know, in a song like this, the musicians put their own take on it and kind of decide what they're playing. We didn't score and write out the bass parts and the guitar parts. They just came in and felt it and did what they thought was necessary. On that first record, though, Jason Riley, our guitar player at the time, he scored the strings for us, and he did all the string arrangements. And the trumpet scored all the horns, because I don't have those skills.
I love this song, Maria.
Oh, I'm actually like so tired of singing it.
I know.
When it comes up, I'm like, I've sung this song like, feels like 500 times.
Is this your Purple Rain?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's like fun to play. I mean, it's fun to play with the band and it's fun to listen to, but when it comes up, I'm like, do we really have to do this one again?
I think a lot of people like to hear it.
I know. When we don't play it or when it's not on the set, I remember one time I took it off. We were playing at Knuckleheads, and at the end, people were like, "What about Besame Mucho?" So we're like, "Okay, let's bring it back for the encore."
Maria, did you jump straight from your first family band into Maria the Mexican, or fill in the gap for me? What happened? What were you doing prior to Maria the Mexican?
Well, I started in the mariachi band when I was 11, and I was actually also the same for my sister. She's 3 years older than me, and we performed until our early 20s. And then, you know, my sister actually moved to Chicago, and we were just kind of in our college years. And, you know, later at that point, like my grandmother she was just too old to perform in the mariachi. And so we dabbled a little bit in a couple other ensembles, pretty much just performing covers in Topeka, Kansas, where we're from. And then I also performed in a blues band for a couple years, and then I met Garrett, and he was the one that, you know, kind of had this idea to create Maria the Mexican. So I kind of explored a few different genres in between the mariachi and Maria the Mexican, but I never stopped playing. I don't ever think I will.
I think I saw on your YouTube page you were playing like kind of like in the living room or something like that.
Yeah, we did a couple Facebook Live shows during
How was that?
I think Garrett probably wanted to.
Hated it.
Well, I know that he never ever wants to do one again. Yeah, we had a couple. I mean, some of them were great, but just due to internet and just things coming up, troubleshooting, there was a couple not so great moments. I definitely would prefer to perform live and in person.
Oh, for sure. So now we're on to South of the Border Moonlight. Is that right?
That is correct. This is Carried Away, which is the first song off of South of the Border Moonlight. Again, this is one of my favorite songs. Garrett wrote this song one day, like, didn't take him long, and just came downstairs and was like, listen to this, and it brought me to tears. And then, fun fact, this song was performed at our wedding by Kelly Hunt.
Oh, wow.
The piano Kelly Hunt.
Yes.
Not the other one. You gotta get married to have her play one of these songs.
I'm sure the other Kelly Hunt would sound awesome on the song.
I'm
as
sure
well.
too, yeah.
The other Kelly Hunt. They're both Kelly Hunt.
They both have the same manager.
The instrumentation on this one is really nice.
Yeah, a little mandolin over on my right, I think.
Yeah, that's Connor Oberst's mandolin. But then we also have the cellist is Johnny Eady from the Kansas City Symphony, so we have a good connection with that, where we have Christine Grossman playing the viola and violin, and then Johnny Eady playing the cello, so that's good. We have that sort of talent.
So how long did it take to put together this record?
A little longer, I'd say, a year at least, but it was the same thing. We went to, we started it, Maria and I went to Mexico for a month, and that's when we sort of wrote the record while she was taking yoga school classes and I was staying home, for 4 hours a day working in the morning. And then we went to the studio to ARC. We cut the whole record in 2 days with all the rhythm tracks. We did a few overdubs in Kansas City, but in the vocals we went back up there, so we were done pretty quickly with it. But then, like I said, we went back and recut all the drums over 2 days with Ben Brodeen playing, because we'd heard him play the drums and heard the sound that we got through that. We were asking Royce that vintage API, and then ARC had this old school Ludwig kit, and it sounded really great. We would love the sound of it, so they said, let's recut this whole thing. But we mixed it in Burlington, Vermont, with a guy named Chad Zeller that we met in Mexico. He has a studio in San Pancho, Mexico, just north of Puerto Vallarta. We called him up, and And so if we're going to be in Mexico for a month and a half or so, let's go into a studio. We just end up running into the same guy that set up the Farmhouse studio with Trey Anastasio that was partners with him. And he recorded the Oysterhead record, or those two records were Stuart Copeland with Grace Potter. And it just turns out that he ended up mixing it. So.
This was one that Garrett wrote that I just immediately fell in love with. This is the title track off the album, South of the Border, Moonlight. And we used to play with the guitarist Jason Riley, who Garrett mentioned, and I love his guitar solo in this.
Surrendering south of the border, moonlight.
It's a great delay that kind of gives it something a little different, you know?
And then brushes.
It sort of reminds me, Ben didn't play all the drums. This is Lester Estelle again. Turns out that subtle brushwork on like that is very difficult.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Maria, do you do your own harmonies, or your sister, or a blend?
This is my sister and I. Yes. So first two albums were all, either her, I on melody, and the other on harmony. And then coming up on the singles, I do my own harmony.
So how is that?
I love doing it.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like it's a good brain challenge.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. We think of the harmonies before we go into the studio, which we don't often do, because I'll sing the whole song, and then Garrett and then the audio or the engineer will be like, okay, we'll do this, and I'm like, okay, hold on, I need to think about this, I need to practice it. But I think it's really fun. It's like a good challenge. I like to be challenged, and it's really nice when it sounds right, and it's when you hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maria is a musician that she's one of the musicians that hears melody really well. Like some musicians are, virtuosos with their dexterity and speed on their instrument, or they have incredible range, or they have just boisterous voices. But she has a lot of that, but hears melody really well. Unlike, it's uncanny how well she does. So it's almost seamless once we figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, this is another tune off of that second album, South of the Border Moonlight. This song is called Back in the Day, and one of Garrett's songs that he has had forever that he played for me that I was drawn to, and Tessa's on backup harmony. And actually the current drummer in our band, Kelly White, I'll always remember he says this is one of his most favorite songs, so we always try to include it in there.
The keys on the last song and this song, who was playing those?
This is Chaz Eller, the mix engineer.
Okay.
He was the keyboard player with the band Kilimanjaro in the 80s.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that, if you remember that band, but they were kind of a fusion jazz thing. He played with Paul Butterfield Blues Band. He's the guy who was partners with Trey Anastasio in that farmhouse studio that it's Trey's. But
Okay.
he was also the mix engineer. You know, there was a grand piano right there, so.
Yeah, I really like the piano part on this song.
What was the last song? You asked about the last song. What was the last one?
South of the Border.
South of the Border.
I'm having a rough time remembering how to play keyboards on that.
Sounded like there was a little tip of the cap to the Doors at the very end.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's quite likely my original scratch tracks on the keyboards made it. If we can't remember who it was.
Oh, and there's an accordion on this one.
Oh yeah, that's Ken.
Ken Lover.
All of those things that came from lips.
So that's who plays it on the South of the Border.
Okay.
It's Ken. It's a Rhodes, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm jumping back, but Maria, it seems to me like, in addition to your ear for melody, you seem like a real storyteller with your voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that comes a lot from the mariachi music and that background because, you know, those songs, much like other genres, but in particular mariachi, they're love songs, they're songs of heartbreak, you know, songs of drinking tequila in the bar, missing your lost lover, or very joyous songs of, you know, coming together and kind of communal songs. There were times when somebody would take a solo in the mariachi, but then there were songs where everybody in the band would sing the whole song together. And, you know, there's always a story to tell for sure. Yeah, so this is one of the new tunes.
Speaking of stories.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Love that first line.
How did this one come about?
Yeah, so obviously the lyrics are very important to me and, you know, the band, I think, in this song. It's called Mexicans
There you
and
go.
Americans. This song it came from a song that Garrett wrote a long time ago called Medicine Man. And I loved Medicine Man. And then he was like, one day he was just like, what if they say Mexicans or Americans? And we kept singing it over and over again. And it just stuck. And, you know, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, like the first line is, if you build a wall, we're going to tear it down. It's a song about unity. It's a song about loving your neighbor, what that really means. And, you know, that's not what has been happening in our political climate for some time, especially in the last few years. And so this is just kind of like our commentary on that. And it was so cool when we were in Mexico. This is Julio Cabrera singing.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really cool.
So yeah, we were working on this album in San Pancho, and Chaz knew Julio. I knew that I wanted to have. We wrote that Spanish interlude, and I knew I wanted to have, you know, Mexican natives sing it. I thought it would be super cool to have a guy sing it, a male from a male perspective. And so we brought him in. He was blind, by the way. One of the coolest, you know, people we've met, I think, and he killed it. And it's really cool to listen to our voices together. Another fun fact about this song, we later took it to Austin and worked with Eldridge Goines, and he totally changed the feel of the song. We redid all of the rhythm tracks, but we kept Julio's vocal.
Yeah, I was wondering how those drums came about on this track. Was it all? I mean, like, was this the original idea for the drums?
This was the original idea. Well, the song is a little skippier, a little bit more. It was a little bit more abracadabra-ish or whatever. We went to Austin, and the producer straightened it out. He wanted it straightened out, and it changed the feel of what we were playing to this considerably. And he had just a cajon backbeat to it, and we tracked the whole thing with a cajon backbeat. Then we almost everything on the horns, the organs, everything in his studio in Austin, and then I sent the song to Lester Estelle in Nashville, and he would cut the drums, the cajon part. Same with this song here. The producer played the drums in his home studio as a backing beat, and Lester came in and played the drums on the back.
Yeah, this is another single we recently released called Bottle of Wine.
Yeah, I'm glad it's out there because I was like, this is totally my date night song from now on.
I love that.
But also just Maria singing harmony to herself. The guitar player on this is Jimmy Graves from Austin, Texas, and he just sent us a text message that he was on stage this weekend with Nikki Lane and Lana Del Rey.
The straight snare does give it like a kind of a cool tension though, kind of a push-pull, right? With the, you've got some percussion that's kind of swinging, and then the snare is straight, and I get it, there's some energy in that tension.
Yeah, he did that to all the songs that we did with him. They were all kind of more swimmy, more jam bandish, and he basically said no.
That's what's up, though. I mean, you just go along with the process, see how it goes, and I mean, how did that? He presented the idea, and everybody just jumped on it.
It was just Maria and I sitting with him, and then Maria would take off, and I'd sit with him and just track the.
Yeah, I think he recorded this solo at like 5 a.m. one morning. That guitar solo.
It just means playing the guitar and with the drum machine, just mapping out the song, and then we went from there. Still I can feel your flame. It grew beyond temptation. Burning hotter as the nighttime came.
You guys wrote this together?
Yeah. Garrett started it many, many years ago.
Yeah, it's a songwriting partner of mine named Gary Lynn from Omaha. Kind of came out of our Colorado group probably 20 years ago as this song has been kicking around. We've been kicking around in different forms when I know. So.
Yeah, this is the newest one. It's called Teresa.
Yeah.
Barry sax?
Barry sax.
Yeah, that's interesting. The personnel about the record sometimes gets introduced. That's Brad Hauser from Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians, the original bass player, and still the bass player. And he's playing bass on this as well. Stay strong and keep moving. He was just on the Tonight Show 2 weeks ago with Edie Brickell because she's back out there.
That's interesting.
But this whole crew is that Austin crew the producer wanted to use, and so it was Brad Hauser on bass. But this is just the producer playing cajon only, so there's no drum kit on this.
What?
I'm waiting here for you. It's you and me together till the end. Stay strong and keep moving on while I wait. Just keep moving on. They say, oh,
World premiere right here, fellas.
That's right. That's
I'm into
right.
it.
I forgot to say something.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. So we talked about mariachi and funk, we talked about mariachi and rock, but this has like a real funk feel. I know. I feel like that has surfaced from the beginning and, definitely comes more from Garrett. And then the producer in Austin, he would just like pull out these funky grooves, and I love them. They translate very well when we play live too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I listened to it, I didn't hear your lyrics. I just started rapping right away.
I've been playing this song in one form or another since I was 17.
That's what's up.
It's just been this and that. It was called this and that. And it really didn't come together until, Maria took a crack at what was supposed to be a song.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed there's no more music to listen to.
I know, I feel like that went really fast, actually.
It did go fast, but I mean, there's more in the works, right? So we've got something to look forward to.
Yes, and like I said, we've been working on this last album for about 5 years, so we are really ready to wrap it up. And, with the whole COVID thing, it definitely put, we took a pause on some of the stuff we were working on, but we are almost done recording, and we just have a few more vocal sessions to do, and then we'll get it mixed and mastered. And we didn't really know if we wanted to put out another full-length album. We thought about just releasing singles, which we did with those first two, but we'll see. I think by now we just really want to get it out and let people hear it.
Yeah, we also took our crew to ARC with Ben Brodeen and
So about to mention that it would be a fun, maybe another episode for everyone to come on and talk about that whole experience, because that was definitely fun.
Yeah, so there is this sort of production that was started in Austin with those guys there, but we also, we started with rapport. We have this really stellar band, which Nate is part of, and so we do have 3 songs now with that whole crew on it, so it'll be there'll be a dichotomy in the record, but a juxtaposition, I guess, is maybe what we're talking about, of kind of sounds, but they fit very well together.
Nice.
Sounds like we'll get to nerd out on the sequencing then, because you'll have some interesting choices to make as far as how you sequence it.
Yeah, we've been pounding on the mix engineer about this is, they have to fit together really well, and there's a real nice, I think, seamless transition between the music and the sounds that we have.
Mm-hmm. It would be fun for you to listen and guess which songs Nate is on.
Well, I think whenever it comes out, for sure. I mean, I would hope that we're still doing this podcast in some form. I mean, it might be maybe we're actually in the same space, listening on the same system or something. But whenever that record comes out, I think that would be fun to sit down and listen to it and try to just maybe see if there's differences you can tell between when and where or whatever the recordings happened or how.
I think we can commit to it. I mean, whatever shape the show is in, Maria, when the album comes out, open invitation. We'll get together and we'll chop it up about the full length, or however you decide to present it.
I am down. Count us in.
Yay! Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to tell us? I mean, I think you have a couple shows are starting to come back. We're recording this early April, so it's starting to look like shows will be starting to happen kind of, this summer. So do you want to tell us about what you have planned, shows, if you're releasing more singles, or, what's going on in Maria World?
Yeah, we are performing at the Folly Theater in Kansas City on May 6th. I do believe, due to COVID, I think there's only 20 tickets for sale. But I do believe that, they will either be live streaming that or it will be presented in video form for more people to watch. Following that, on May 7th, we're going to Chicago to play at a place called Hey Noni. So it'll be our second Chicago gig. First one being the very first time I ever played with Garrett. A long time ago, we played a 4-hour mariachi gig. So we're excited to go there. And these gigs are just with myself, Garrett, and our guitar player, Mark Murtha, who also plays the steel guitar. Just due to COVID, having the full band, we're slowly moving back there. We will be performing June 22nd, which is a Tuesday, in Topeka at the Jayhawk Theater for a Visit Topeka event. And one other kind of fun thing that is happening there is a statue being built to honor my grandmother in Topeka at the Edward G. Plaza. And we're currently in kind of a fundraising stage for that. There's a request, out for that funding, and $5 of the ticket price for that Topeka show will go towards the funding for the statue. And they're hoping to have that done by September of this year, 2021. And so we will certainly be playing at some sort of, presentation and celebration of her statue. So that is what's coming up. Also finishing the album, we'll probably release another single, if not two, and wrap that up. And just can't wait to get back. I would love to get a gig going in Lawrence. And just get back with the full band. We're just now getting back to practicing together, and it's gonna be really, really nice to perform again and be on stage again and just be together again, because I love music and I love being around people and performing well.
Very cool. Nate, make sure we're going to get the link to the fundraiser for the statue in the show notes, so that people have a direct link if they want to contribute to that. I was about to say,
well, we can link to either the calendar or mention the shows, but definitely to the fundraiser, and we'll put all that stuff in the show notes.
Okay, definitely. And thank you for having us. Obviously, we've done a lot more things like this due to COVID, and it's also very nice to connect with people online through these types of, outlets and media. So thank you for inviting us. And sorry it took us a little bit to get all set up. And ready.
Thank you.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much things change once things get back to normal, whatever it's going to be like, if people will still want to do more of this type of thing, or if it'll be more, that, hey, let's just get together in the same place and do this. But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I think it'll be kind of a mix of both, for sure.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Garrett.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, guys.
We'll see everybody later. It's been a long play listening party.